Hi everybody, my name is Sarah, and you are watching part 3 of my sketchbook toe. And without further ado, we are going to jump right in. Day number 21 is sleep, so I made an animation inspired by a quote by Jack London, and then had this superb meteor shooting through the sky, and you can tell how happy and excited he is to cause the dinosaur extinction. Vocal stylings by my partner, and this illustration is also inspired by a quote. This quote is by a Spanish chef. Remember that a very good sardine is always preferable to a not that good lobster. So basically I drew a hard-working sardine and a not so hard-working lobster. You can see that this sardine is working really hard on the group project, and you can see that the sardine's lobster teammate is not doing his fair share because he knows that his rich parents will get him into Harvard Law School regardless of his academic performance. Sardine, more like sardone with the work inequalities of group projects. You could say that this lobster is a terrible group partner. So I wanted to draw a really ripped animal, so I chose a manatee. So I drew this retro-style comic. In the first panel it says, "The secret to a successful garden is right here at home." And you can see this cute little housewife is looking in the kitchen at her loving husband. In the next panel, it says, "Don't settle for store-bought fertilizer when your husband will provide everything you need." Traditional family values dictate that the husband is the provider of the household. And then in the last panel, her friend is like, "Hey Nancy, what's your secret?" And naturally Nancy says, "Oh, my husband is the key to my success." So I drew a cockatrice, and it's a mythical beast that has the body of a dragon and the head of a rooster. It was believed that looking into the eyes of a cockatrice would kill you. You could say that if a human made eye contact with a cockatrice, they would be cock-a-doodle-doomed. And it was believed that the weasel was the only creature immune to these powers, which is why the weasel is his only friend. So I drew another comic of me and my partner, because I really like doing those. So he's like, "Hey, what's all that ruckus coming from the basement?" And then he says, "I'm just gonna go check." And he opens the door, and before he knows it, he's standing face to face with this giant monster in the basement, also known as my feelings for you. I dislike almost every human, but I really do like my partner. So all of that affection normally dispersed amongst many individuals for a normal person is really just directed towards this one human, and these feelings have manifested into this giant green gooey tentacle monster, which is why I keep this monster kept in the basement, because otherwise he would just startle and overwhelm my partner. So I drew 3 of my favorite musicians. So from left to right we have Frank Sinatra. I think his music is absolutely delightful, and you're just gonna have to Frank Sinatra, trust me on that one. In the middle we have Bob Crosby. His music really brings joy to my soul. So let's give Bob Crosby a round of applause. And last but not least, on the right we have Duke Ellington. Oh, Duke Ellington? His music is quite swellington. So I made this little animation of a spider. So what spiders can do is they can shoot little silky bits out their butt into the air so they can achieve lift and just shoot off into the sky to transport themselves. It's called ballooning, and I thought it was super cute. I think that skill is pretty arachnete. Spiders are arthropods. You could say I'm arthro-proud of them for going the extra distance. Once again, the vocal stylings were done by my partner. So I drew a horseshoe crab. Horseshoe crabs swim upside down at about a 30-degree angle. Since I drew all of these traditionally in an actual sketchbook, I had to bring these illustrations into Photoshop, where I cut apart the little pieces that I was going to animate before bringing them into Adobe After Effects and actually animating them. Feel free to let me know in the comments if you actually want me to explain how I did any of these animations. This one was super simple, but I would be happy to share. So I drew an ominous omnivore. It's a hedgehog, and he's saying time is running out, because it is, always. And last but not least, day 31 is crawl. It made me think of woolly bear caterpillars. In the fall, they start crossing the roads, and I know a lot of people don't see them, and they get run over, and it makes me very sad. So this comic is about a perfect world where we have little signs that say Woolly Bear Crossing, and you can see that the car is stopping there, and there's a bunch of little woolly bears that are using this time to cross safely across the street, because for a woolly bear, crossing a street is a pilgrimage. So there are 2 generations of woolly bears. The woolly bears that you're seeing in the fall that are crossing the roads are the 2nd generation woolly bears, and what they're doing is they're just trying to find a new place to hibernate for the winter. All right, thank you. That was it. I hope that you found my art to be somewhat pleasant, and I hope that my puns were only slightly unbearable. Until next time.